just outside the top 10 performances of all time. What a start in round one.
So it is time to turn our attention back to the track for the women's 1500 metres. This is the first heat. Erin Wallace there, Great Britain, out there on the outside. To her inside, Winnie Nanyondo, new national indoor record. She's got great 800 metre speed. Watch out for her if it's a tactical final. She should be okay navigating these heats. Linden Hall, she's on her first indoor season for Australia. She's done it in the collegiate scene, the NCAs. It's the first time we've seen her do this as a senior. In lane 3, Embaye, Axumawit Embaye of Ethiopia. She was second in 2014, fourth in 2016. I'm sure she'd love to get back amongst the medals here in Belgrade. In lane 2 is Claudia Bobocea. She looks so strong in some of her early season races, but not so much in the last month or so. But Angelina Lohaleth, the authorised, apologies, for the athlete refugee team, coached by Tegla LaRoupe. So great to see the athletes here from the athlete refugee team.
On your mark.
6 athletes, first 3 will advance automatically into the final on Saturday. See, Embaye, they've got to fire that gun again. I heard 2 fires of the gun there, but Bobocea maybe just thought it was an echo. Embaye there was definitely unsteady on the start line, but this will be unknown territory for these women. They've probably never been involved in a false start before.
Well, and in fairness to them for carrying on, you know, it's like many things in life. You keep going unless someone tells you otherwise. It could easily, in their minds, have related to something else happening elsewhere in the stadium. Obviously, you're not going to have 2 track races going on, but for all they knew, there could have been a 60-metre heat going on. It wasn't immediately clear to them, so good work on the starters for firing again and again and again, and eventually the message got through, and we regather again for the first of these 3 heats in the women's 15.
I was getting really nervous because they did fire it twice. You know, we were aware here in the commentary position that was a false start, and I think Embaye there, she did wobble on the line, and I can hear a green card, I think, which makes a lot more sense in a discipline like this, in the 1500. Any suggestion of a false start would be much more likely to be nerves than a competitive advantage. I was ready to get up and yell at them if they got round to us. But we'll start again with Heat 1 of the women's 1500 metres. Wallace, Nanyondo, Hall, Embaye, Bobocea and Lohaleth. Just 6 competitors. There are 3 heats in total with 3 non-automatic qualifiers. Bobocea often leads at championships.
On your mark.
We could see the Romanian athlete do the same here today. Embaye there for me, wobbling again on the start line. But we did see Claudia Bobocea in the lead in that false start before they were recalled, and she looks like she's gone after it with even more conviction in this second starting. Claudia Bobocea, she ran a really impressive solo 4:06 at Manchester back in January. And she very often does this at championships, whether it's a World Championships or a European Championships. She goes, come on, let's run at a decent pace and give ourselves a shot at the non-automatic qualifying times. Linden Hall there moving up into 3rd place.
Not a bad tactic to employ in a major championship. And when you compare how tough the qualification is in the heats of the men's 800, where it's only the winner plus 1 non-automatic qualifier, 3 plus 3 is pretty generous across these heats. She doesn't need to get involved in any fireworks and sprinting at the end. Claudia Bobocea, the hugely experienced 29-year-old Romanian, just needs to make this honest enough and hope that 1 or 2 drift off the pace. I'm really excited to see what Axumawit Embaye might produce. The Ethiopians have brought an incredible team of 1,500-metre runners and 3,000-metre runners, and she looks like she's coasting in 4th place behind Bobocea at the moment.
Great first 400 there from Bobocea, 65.7. That's right around that 4:03 mark, and that will really give all of these women a decent shot at non-automatic qualifying time if they can't get outside of the top 3. It is a very competitive heat. The women in those top 5 you can see pulling away there. They've all run 4:07 or faster this season. So there is perhaps Erin Wallace just a shade outside that with her 4:08. But they're all capable of well under 4:10, so it's great to see them running at a really decent pace. 33.5 from Bobocea on that lap, just starting to slow slightly, but they're still happy to sit in single file and let the Romanian lead them round this 1,500 metres.
Inside 4 laps to go. Remember, it's 7.5 laps indoors, the 15. Bobocea continuing to set the agenda. Linden Hall had a fine run for 6th in the Olympic Games last summer. She's in 2nd. Erin Wallace is at the back of that group of 5. And don't forget about Winnie Nanyondo, the former Commonwealth bronze medalist over 800 metres. She looks pretty comfortable in 3rd here at the moment as Hall now just begins to come up onto the Romanian's shoulder with 3 to go.
Smart running there from Hall. She seems to have manoeuvred herself into that driving seat or passenger seat on the shoulder of the leader, and that will make herself sort of a target, an obstacle for the other athletes to get round. I think she is trying to get past Bobocea, but you can see Bobocea just lifting her pace slightly. 2:46 through the kilometre, that's really still moving very well. These women could be on for 4:05 or faster. See Nanyondo there, just biding her time. I think she'll use that 800 metre speed in the latter stages. But Embaye is very dangerous. She's so quick. Her personal best, her season's best, are so much faster than everyone else. You'd expect her to really turn the heat on in this final 400 metres.
Embaye just at the back of that leading trio, now beginning to come on to Nanyondo's shoulder. Watch for the Ethiopian on this last 300 metres. She hasn't got out of 2nd gear yet and would expect to come past at least one more to ensure she finishes in the top 3.
This, for me, is the first move we've seen off Embaye. We've seen Linden Hall try to take the lead maybe 3 times, and she couldn't get past Claudia Bobocea of Romania. But Embaye has turned on the afterburners in this last 200. She is gone. Who else can get in the top 2 and automatically qualify? Nanyondo there, fantastic sneaky move on the inside, getting herself into 2nd place. Bobocea of Romania fighting hard. Linden Hall from Australia desperately trying to get in this top 3 to automatically qualify for the final. But Embaye is home. She can relax, she can jog through the line. She has a place in tomorrow's final, as does Winnie Nanyondo. Bobocea lifting her pace in that last 50 metres to give herself an automatic spot. Australia's Linden Hall will have to wait and see if she can be a non-automatic qualifier.
An effortless piece of acceleration as she hit the bell, bouncing along on her toes, streaked away from the field. Just the slightest hint of acceleration. She'll obviously need to do that again come the final, but that's why everyone's been so excited about the Ethiopian middle distance runners coming here. They brought a team who are in such good form, and I think there's some poetic justice there for Claudia Bobocea, who did hang on for 3rd because she was the one who set the tone. Hall's time, 4:06.69, was a season's best. That might be enough to send her through as one of the non-automatic qualifiers. But I always like it when someone who sets the pace manages to hold on for an automatic spot.
And Claudia Bobocea, she's been doing that for years. Sometimes it's paid off, sometimes it hasn't, and that is incredibly rewarding for the Romanian athlete to get an automatic spot. And I think she would have had quite a big personal best as well there. Maybe not, it's been just outside her personal best. 4:06 there for Nanyondo and Bobocea, season's best for Linden Hall. Axumawit Embaye comfortable there with that 4:04.83. Time to relax over the line and turn her attention towards the final.
Aurora Fleury, twice a European cross-country relay medalist. And to Alma Cortez, national indoor record holder for Mexico. To Josette Norris, she beat Eleanor Pura St. Pierre in the American trials. Got herself down from 4:10 to 3:59 last year. It's a massive improvement. Sarah Healy, 4:06 and 8:53. She's in really good form, the Irish woman. Gressa Bakraki, 4th in the Balkan Indoor Champs earlier this year. And on the inside, Hirut Meshesha, African Games champion over 800 metres. National record holder for Ethiopia, over 1,000. Really good performances from Meshesha on the World Indoor Tour. That's the Irish woman, Sarah Healy, who brings that 4:06 form. Former European youth champion from 4 years ago. Top 3 coming back for the final. A little bit of a stutter on the line from Hirut Meshesha. 3 times she's been on the podium on the World Indoor Tour, and she wastes no time at all, heading straight to the front, although I say that. And Almadelia Cortez, 9th in the Pan American Championships back in 2019. The Mexican decides she's going to set the tone, so she leads. Meshesha in 2nd, and the American Norris comfortably moving along in 3rd.
But Cortez, she's got that season's best of 4:08, 4:09. She's done 4:08 outdoors. She's probably looked at this and gone, I think I'm in sub 4:10 shape. Let's just make it happen, not sit around and wait. And for me, Sarah Healy's got to pay attention here. The Irish woman is having such a good indoor season, but she's slightly off this pace at the moment. You can see Aurore Fleury there of France. She's paying closer attention, moving herself up into 3rd place. But the American, the Ethiopian, just happy to sit on this pace set by the Mexican.
Meshesha very happy just to sit on the Mexican shoulder. 65 plus change at 400 meters. Remember, it was pretty quick in the first, and Embaye with 4:04.8. Cortez still determined to maintain the honesty of this pace. Good performance by Norris, by the way, the US champs, to beat Helena Pura St. Pierre, who is the 3rd fastest in the world this year indoors with 4:02. The American just with 4 on her hip, now beginning to come onto the shoulder of the Mexican, and they're bunching a little bit here. I don't think it'll bother Meshesha, but the 4 women in 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th will fancy. They're very much in the shake-up for the second 2 spots, if you take it for granted that Meshesha's going to win.
The pace was pretty comparable to the first heat through that first 600, but I do think they might slow now. And I'd like to see someone take that on and keep pushing the pace. You can see Meshesha there happy to lead, and Josette there for me. She has such a ferocious finish. Sorry, Josette Norris. Combined her first name and her second name. Josette Norris is such a lightning finish. I think she'll be happy just to sit there, but it's great to see young 21-year-old Sarah Healy getting back involved as well. She's had a fantastic indoor season, but Fleury is very experienced on the international scene. These women will have an indication for the kilometre in 100 metres time. It was 2:46 in the first race. That might give us an indication of whether this race can get close to that 4:6, 4:5 mark that we saw in the first race. But that pace is really starting to lift. Meshesha piling on the pace, piling on the pressure at the front.
And remember, it's 4:06, the quickest of the non-automatic times, 2:45.9, so those in 4th and 5th, Cortez and Healy, really need to try and pick up their pace here and close the gap. Fleury's in 3rd, Norris 2nd. We're just waiting for Hirut Meshesha to hit the afterburners. Maybe she won't, in the same way that her compatriot Axumawit Embaye did in the first for her 4:04.8. Remember, she sat back off the pace and then specifically hit the front at the bell with 200 to go. Meshesha has been happy to set the tone, and that means she's been running very comfortably within herself.
See smart running there from Norris. She was looking around saying, are we away? Are there 3 of us away? And there are. So these 3 could look around and settle down a bit, but all to fight for in this final lap. 3 to qualify for tomorrow's final.
Very easy at the moment from Hirut Meshesha. Need to pay close attention to Aurore Fleury, the French woman, because Cortez is beginning to close her. Norris is tracking Meshesha, and that's good running by the American, but Cortez is beginning to close down on the French woman. Hirut Meshesha, miles clear, 4:05.6. Good running from Norris as well, and Cortez does indeed take the 3rd automatic spot from a very, very tired Fleury, who crawls across the line. Well judged by the Mexican. As far as Meshesha's concerned, barely out of breath.
That was very well judged from Cortez. Meshesha really piled on the pressure in the last 400. Josette Norris wasn't really troubled by that. She could go with it. Aurore Fleury was brave. She put herself out there to get that third automatic qualifying spot and just was vulnerable in that last 50 metres and 60 metres. And our early leader, Alma Cortez of Mexico, was there to pick up the pieces. As with Claudia Bobocea, the early leader was rewarded with a third place in automatic qualification. So we like to see that from the front runners. It's very brave to go out and do that, particularly on the global stage. But Meshesha and Norris striding out into their last 100 metres. Ethiopia really in control so far, winning the first heat and the second heat. Got another athlete going with Gudaf Tsegay in the final heat. Could we have 3 Ethiopian women into tomorrow's final?
Well, there'll be an inquest if there aren't. Tsegay is the world record holder and the world leader. Her compatriots are going very, very well in the opening 2 heats. Hirut Meshesha, very, very comfortable qualification. Good running from Josette Norris to hang on to the Ethiopian. Cortez bounced back and denied Fleury the third automatic spot. Well, just to bring you an update, disappointing news for Great Britain. In heat 3 of the 400 metres, Jessica Knight, yes, we were aware that she had stepped on the inside, watched for her feet once, twice, 3 times. She went there because she was pushed by Vondrova, but at the moment, Great Britain's Jessica Knight, for that infringement, has been disqualified. There may well be a counter-protest there.
We'll have this final heat of the women's 1500 metre. Lucia Stafford will see her sister in the 3000 metre final tonight, representing Canada. Lane 6, the US champion, Heather McLean. Lane 5, leg number 5, Nozomi Tanaka, 3K World Junior champion, made the final in Tokyo at our home Olympic Games last summer. But it is the world record holder and the world lead this season, wearing leg number 4, Gudaf Tsegay. She will certainly be the one to watch as we look towards that final on Saturday. Amna Barsham from Sudan, wearing leg number 3. Marta Perez, qualified doctor and Olympic finalist for Spain. All smiles there for the Spanish athlete. Completing the lineup will be Sara Kavisto. 4 Finnish records at the Olympic Games. She's been chipping away for years, Sara Kavisto. It's been a pleasure to watch her getting better and better. And she's here again on the world stage. Tsegay there of Ethiopia. She's got to be the clear favourite for this event overall. But like everybody else, she's got to navigate these rounds.
Back. Stand up.
Everyone very keen to ensure they've understood exactly what the instructions are. See, Heather McLean saw him put his arm up, and she was like, I'm not standing up unless I know that you're recalling us. So away without any trouble in the end in this third and final heat of the women's 1500. Sara Kavisto, could she be another front runner? We've seen some really brave running from these women. Tanaka, she front ran at the Olympics as well to make those rounds fast because she wanted to advance. Kavisto and Tanaka at the front of this. I think this could be every bit as fast as the other races we've looked at. Tsegay there, wanting to get involved early doors. This is a really tough heat for me, this third and final heat. I think this could be the highest quality of the 3 we've seen so far, and they've got some fast times to chase from the early 2 heats.
They have. Linden Hall is the quickest of the non-automatic qualifiers with 4:06.6. Then you drop down to 4:12. So there's an opportunity here if they can keep this an honest pace, which is exactly what Tanaka's doing. An opportunity to go through if they don't make it as one of the 3 automatic qualifiers. But the 2 Ethiopians so far, Embaye in the first heat and Meshesha in the second, have shown just why there are so many people predicting an Ethiopian 1, 2, 3 in this event. It's slightly slower, 66.6, so they need to pick up those who think they might be outburnt for a place in the top 3 coming in.
And that's tough here. You might think you've got a quick finish. You might have a quick finish in your country, but coming to a world stage and relying on that kick is dangerous. And I think Tanaka knows that. You saw her lift the pace a little bit, I think, through that first 400. I think she would have seen 66 seconds and gone, that's not going to cut it. I need to be going faster. Kvitová, I thought she might swing round if she wanted it a little bit faster. Perez there as well, such a fantastic outdoor season for Spain. I think she might take up this running if she feels like it gets too slow. But Heather McLean, the US champion, out-kicking her training partner, El Pereira St. Pierre, and Josette Norris to win that US Championships. She'll be fancying her kick, but like I say, do you want to rely on your kick on a world stage? These women are ticking off these laps. You can see that graphic there showing you the distance between Tanaka and Tsegay. Just hovering around that 1 meter. Kvitová of Finland in third place. Perez, for the first time, she's moved up into third. This time they'll see 3 laps to go, 600 meters to go, but there are only 3 automatic qualifying spots up to the grabs for these women, and they're not moving as fast as that first heat.
Tsegay takes the front for the first time, kind of in between the tactics of her 2 teammates. Embaye stayed off the pace until the bell. Meshesha went to the front right at the start. She split the difference, the world record holder, the fastest woman in the world this year. She will feel this is her title to win, and seemingly effortlessly, she is pulling away from a really classy field, and that means the 5 women behind are battling for 2 spots.
That is a tight group behind. You've got 5 women fighting for 2 automatic qualifying spots. I do not think they're going fast enough for the non-automatic qualifying spots. Marta Perez, qualified doctor, she's got 300 meters to go, but look at Lucia Stafford. We've seen a fantastic turn of pace from her sister. Perhaps they've been doing the same training. That was a brilliant kick there from the Canadian to move herself into second place. Kvitová at the moment, the only athlete that could respond, but they're going to hear the bell this time, and Embaye is home and dry. She is Tsegay. Apologies, she is home and dry, but there is a battle on behind for the last 2 automatic qualifying spots. Keep your eye on Heather McLean. She's got a fantastic finish. Kvitová moving wide to protect her position. Stafford of Canada, did she kick too early? She's got 100 meters to go. She's got to hold off at least one of these women. She can let one come past it. Top 3 will qualify for tomorrow's final. Ethiopia will have 3 athletes in the final. Tsegay eases down as the others fight for the line. It will be Stafford from Kvitová, and it is the American champion, Heather McLean, that could possibly have to rely on a non-automatic qualifying time. We'll have to wait and see if she can be under the 4:12 of Ore Fleury from this second heat.
Yeah, I think Heather McLean is okay, but it's an indication, exactly as you said, that it's all very well burning people up on your own turf. You've got to go and do it against the very best in the world. Good running from Lucia Stafford, whose injection of pace and aggression coming round at the completion of the penultimate lap just gave her that edge and that opportunity to cement that second place. Kvitová took the 3rd spot. McLean, 4:08.13, should be okay. And Marta Perez might take the 3rd automatic spot. Remember, we had Linden Hall with 4:06 in the first of the heats. But how would you bet against an Ethiopian 1, 2, 3? The question would be, in which order?
Wouldn't that be fantastic? They're talking about a 1, 2, 3 in the men's 3,000 meters. What if we saw it in the women's 1,500? See that confirmed result there. Gudaf Tsegay, 4:06.71. Just turned on that heat in the last 400 meters and pulled away from the field effortlessly. Lucia Stafford, 4:07.95. Sarah Kvitová. If anyone wants to be inspired about longevity in athletics, Sarah Kvitová has had such a wonderful progression over the last few years. Out-kicking Heather McLean, the US champion. But that's going to be a fantastic final. That's at 8:35 tomorrow.